When the moon pie dropped in downtown Mobile in the first seconds of 2020, the streets were crowded elbow to elbow. Smiling people waved at WKRG News 5 cameras. They had no reason to think that the booming economy, the health of their families, and even the security of their community would be changed like never before by one word: coronavirus. Although it was a difficult year, our community and our station never gave up hope and never gave up on our effort to help. January 1st was still 21 days before the word coronavirus was uttered in a WKRG newscast, and it was a problem way off in China. But it was on its way to change our lives and our community.
We begin with breaking news. Mobile County now has its first case of coronavirus.
It would also change the way the entire television station served our viewers and the community, and the way we covered the news. Sure, everyone had to deal with the impact of COVID-19 and a tumultuous election.
This is the biggest race of our lifetime.
However, not everyone had to deal with a record tropical storm season that ripped apart entire towns, but somehow brought us all closer together.
It is a bad situation, it is, but we'll get through it.
We look out for each other, and we're going to rebound from this.
We'll come back better, as we always do.
We're local, strong, and stand with our community.
It was a perfect storm of calamity never seen before on the Gulf Coast. And as it turns out, WKRG was uniquely prepared to weather it. WKRG's tradition of helping in the hardest times meant we were ready to make a difference. WKRG News 5's already relentless pursuit of breaking news on air and online meant we were ready to cover the big stories. By the time Mardi Gras rolled around, that coronavirus word was everywhere. Alabama still hadn't been hit by COVID-19. The announcement of the first positive case was 16 days away. Mobile and the entire Gulf Coast partied. For more than 4 decades, WKRG has hosted the biggest Mardi Gras coverage on the Gulf Coast. 9 hours of live coverage from Saraland to Pensacola highlight Fat Tuesday. The WKRG coverage has become as much a tradition in Mobile as the moon pies and Mardi Gras beads. But the party would soon be over. When the outrage over George Floyd's death reached its boiling point, protests spilled out onto the streets of the Gulf Coast.
These cops, they're corrupt. Vote these people out. Stop killing us.
If you want to answer, you got to listen. You got to be willing to listen.
He was smiling, bro.
No, you seen him smiling.
It's impossible for anybody to know everything, and if you think that's going to happen, you have an unrealistic expectation.
I don't believe nothing is impossible. I feel like
I suggest that you can run for office then.
This is video that you will only see on News 5 showing a woman smashing a Mobile police cruiser with a baseball bat.
WKRG News 5 covered them live, but did more than point the cameras at the protests. We brought activists and police together to talk about how we move forward. Because of COVID-19, this had to be virtual. Our experience with technology meant that was just a minor speed bump. The panel included James Barber, Director of Public Safety for the City of Mobile, Lawrence Batiste, Mobile Police Chief, and Robert Clopton, President of the local NAACP. Moderated by WKRG News 5 anchor Amber Grigley. We also put aside competition for the night, allowing access to all stations in the Mobile market.
Our tradition of giving did not change during COVID-19. In fact, it was more important than ever. We just had to adjust how we did it. Our telethons went virtual. Our annual Magical Christmas Toy Drive required COVID-19 precautions. But when the going gets tough, the Gulf Coast gets going. Even though many are struggling to support their own families, we were still able to raise more than $70,000 for the Boys and Girls Clubs, more than $20,000 for the Salvation Army Food and Supply Drive, more than $78,000 for hurricane recovery, more than $13,000 for tornado victims, nearly $3,000 for the virtual Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign, approximately $450,000 worth of toys for the Magical Christmas Toy Drive. That's nearly $700,000 of giving in a time where it's needed most. Many WKRG News 5 employees are also involved in other charitable organizations on their own time, and we're including a spreadsheet of those along with our awards. Helping our community didn't stop there. We gave airtime to several local organizations for their events that we support. In a pandemic, those organizations needed our help more than ever to raise money, and we didn't hesitate to help.
Speaking of awards, WKRG News 5 was one of a relatively small number of stations to earn 2 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. We were recognized for excellence in photography and social media. By summer, the virus had forced most of us out of our building. We produced a newscast 100% from someone's home for the first time.
I'm Tara Lombard, joining you from my living room as we continue to practice social distancing.
Anchors reported from their dens. Reporters remained in the field. In a strange way, even though we were forced to be apart, we had never been closer.
We are the first line, out on the front lines, working together day and night. We're overcomers, keeping it going, till we make it to the other side. And we're stronger, stronger together. We rise up in our time of need. We're local, strong, and stand with our community.
When Hurricane Sally and Zeta hit, it wasn't possible to be remote. We lived at the TV station for days. We ate, slept, and worked, being as careful as possible not to get each other sick. Our live crews braved the storms to cover a season like we've never seen. The coverage once again kept our viewers safe. Hurricane Sally has now come ashore at Gulf Shores, Alabama.
When your safety hung in the balance, we were there.
Intense rain, flooding, storm surge.
Speeds up to 90, 100 miles per hour.
2 feet of rain.
It's not over.
It is not safe to drive.
Catastrophic flooding is unfolding.
When your power went out, we were still there.
Your station was the only one who gave reliable live streaming.
And as we recover, we'll be here every step of the way.
Take care of yourself and your families.
For 5 hours in August, we got to forget about viruses, politics, and devastating hurricanes, and watched history unfold right in our backyard.
Yeah, space!
We produced 5 hours of live, breaking coverage of the SpaceX splashdown off our part of the Gulf Coast. Our team of reporters across the coast, the live images from NASA, and the expertise of our own chief meteorologist Ed Bloodsworth entertained and informed viewers as history was made. During all of this, tropics, turmoil, and the virus, we managed to launch a brand new hour-long newscast, the 4 on 5. Giving birth to something like this is always a painful process, but this was even harder. Our team, though, made it happen. The 4 on 5 is an innovative newscast, but make no mistake, it's news for news viewers. It's hard, fast-paced, and informative. It also changed the ratings landscape of the early evenings and forced other stations to scramble and react. By December, our community came together. The WKRG Magical Christmas Toy Drive is the station's biggest outreach of the year. This project provides thousands of toys to children in need across the Gulf Coast. We are proud to say we collected $450,000 in toys that helped make Christmas special for nearly 1,000 different local families in a year when they needed it the most. The year began with hope, and we ended with it.
I wanted to make sure that I stayed fit and healthy when COVID hit.
Along with the toy drive, we aired our special Inspired Top 5 of 2020 to show that there were good things that happened in a tough year, and there was hope for 2021. We showed our community that even though we can't be together, we are not apart.